Teaching the bodyweight squat. When I teach the bodyweight squat, the first thing I'm going to get you to do is you're going to walk your feet shoulder width apart. From there, you're going to go a little bit wider than shoulder width, and then you're going to point your toes out or externally rotate at the hips anywhere from 15 to 30 degrees. From there, I'm going to lower into my squat. I want to think of two things. The first, I'm spreading my knees apart as wide as I possibly can as I go into my squat to try and load up the hips. And the second is I keep my chest nice and tall so that I'm not rounding my lower back when I'm getting deep into that squat. I'm also going to place my arms out as a counterbalance, and then I'm going to drop down. Knees nice and wide, chest nice and tall. I come up, I squeeze the glutes nice and strong. And again, I'm going to go down, knees wide, chest tall, come up and squeeze the glutes nice and tight. So now I'm going to get Megan to try her bodyweight squat. So again, the first thing I'm going to get you to do is have your feet a little wider than shoulder width apart. It looks perfect. You're going to point your toes out 15 degrees. That looks great. And then as you lower, have your hands out in front of you. Drive the knees wide and keep your chest tall. Go for it. We'll do 3 reps. Knees drive wide, chest stays tall. Good. And up for the big squeeze. Great mobility. And down. Knees drive wide, chest tall. Up for a big squeeze. And one more. Knees drive wide, chest tall. And big squeeze. I'll get you to do one more and just go to the bottom. So notice how as she's going down, her knees are driving as wide as she can, but she's always keeping the direction of her knees pointing the same direction of her toes. Her chest is nice and proud. You can see she has some really good mobility. If you can't get down that low in your squat, there's no problem. And from here on the way up, she's going to drive using her hips and digging her feet into the floor, and she's going to come all the way up, squeezing with the glutes at the top of the movement. When it comes to squat depth, it's all based on the person and their mobility restrictions. Myself as a coach, I like to get people to squat as low as they can as long as their form is on point. So when they're doing their squat, again, with the feet shoulder width apart, you'll go down, and where we determine depth is where we see any type of rounding in the spine. So as I come down into my squat here, my spine stays nice and straight and I'm tall. If I can go deeper than that, then great, but as long as I'm not rounding through my lower back. An example of where you would round through your lower back is potentially if someone would have ankle mobility restrictions where they can't get their knees to come forward in that squat. And from here, you're going to see my butt round, and now my back is rounding as well. So that, if someone does that, it's called a butt wink. We want to stop them before. So if that was the case, I would just get them to stop maybe at parallel if that's all they can do, keeping their spine straight. And I would work on that mobility to try and get them deeper and deeper into their squat. So now we're going to watch Megan squat. And Megan has an abnormal range of motion, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. We just want to make sure that she can stay strong throughout her entire squat and she doesn't lose any stiffness anywhere, particularly in her core. So give me a couple reps, Megan. You're going to go down. Great. 1, and you can pop back up. Awesome. And go down again. Good. 2, looks great. And I'll get you to do one more nice and slow. So go nice and slow into your squat. And notice as she's going down, her spine, her lower back is nice and straight, nice and flat the whole time. There may be a little bit of rounding with her in the bottom of her squat. Not something I would be too concerned with. We just don't want to see a big arch and a big butt wink. And again, if I added weight to her squat now, you'd probably see her stay even straighter. So once you've mastered the bodyweight squat, now we're going to move on to something we call the goblet squat, which is an excellent teaching tool to get people to eventually progress to, say, a barbell front squat or a barbell back squat. So with a goblet grip, it just means that you're holding the dumbbell in front from one head of the dumbbell. So I'm going to pass the dumbbell to Megan. She's going to hold it in front like so, and then she's going to repeat with the exact same cues. Keep the chest tall, spread the knees nice and wide as she goes deep into her squat. So go again for 3 reps. Down deep, chest tall, good. 1, and down deep, and drive the knees wide, good. Up. 2, and give me one more. Down deep and up. 3. That was awesome. Form was perfect. So when you're starting to squat, make sure you master it body weight first, and from there, what I like to move people on to next is mastering the goblet squat.